What's good? This is your boy Big Business. We're back with another installment of What's Real Hip Hop. This time around, we're talking about the trendsetters and go-getters. This episode, real hype about this one. Got my man H and more. So many things going on right now, you know what I'm saying? For you, I just want to be able to touch on all of it. But for people who out there who don't know H, you must be from a different state because he's been doing it up and down, 95, 75, I-4 and all. Let me ask you, I know, but the viewers do not. How did you get your start down here in Florida? Because you're not originally from here.
Well, I moved down here in 2004. So from 2004 to like 2005, I was really just going to different spots, you know, like you do, just introducing myself, promoting, helping other people do their thing and all of that. Before the internet phase was really big,
Exactly.
you know, building relationships. So once I started building relationships, I used to go to open mics and do my thing as an artist. And from there, you know, doors open from just helping out and getting my own nights and things of that nature.
Right. And one thing I think people take for granted is the grind work that's associated with making a name for yourself. People think that they can just get in and just don't have to put in that work. Like nowadays, people say that, you know, I'm going on tour, but they're paying somebody to put the tour together, and they're paying every place they go. You know what I'm saying? When you was doing it, you know, early, it wasn't anything like that, was it?
Actually, it was.
Was it?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It was actually worse back then.
Talk to me about how it was in that time period.
I mean, even back then, like we don't really understand from a local standpoint about the money that's being passed around behind the scenes because it was never really like publicated. It was never really out in the front. You know, when you get signed to these labels and they send you on tour, they pay for that.
Right.
When you see Jay-Z on the cover of a magazine, that's paid for.
Right.
Through the label because that's already in your budget.
Right.
So when you know when certain things happen to the bigger artists, you think, oh man, that was free. They gave it to them because you know they deserved it. Or they earned it.
Right.
Nah, that's
factored
false.
into the budget.
Yeah, it's already in the budget. I mean, as an independent artist, you don't usually look at yourself and say, all right, I'm gonna budget this and I'm gonna budget that. You know, just you gotta treat it like a business. Anything that's spending money, whether we at a hotel or you work at McDonald's, you know, they have a budget that they spend per year on certain things, and you have to do that. You know, so nowadays there's so many smaller level players doing it.
Yeah.
It's exposed now. Like, oh, if you want to go on tour, it's going to cost you a couple thousand. People like, oh man, I would never do that. Like, yeah, you're going to have to because somebody's paying for that bus, somebody's paying for that hotel, somebody's paying for the gas, somebody's paying for the connection that's built. You know, it's a lot of factors that's in there that the average local artist wouldn't see because they're not in it or they haven't reached that level of business where you seeing that actually happen.
Some of these local artists they want to make music, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I talked to one of my homeboys and he was just like, the internet, it just made it able for you to be heard. It did nothing for the music. It didn't increase the level of the music that was being made. You're an artist as well, and you know, you've been doing your thing for a minute, and you know, I know you went on 106 back when 106 actually was popping like that.
Right.
So tell us a little bit about that experience from the standpoint of being in this market and what you were exposed to and what you learned from that experience.
I mean, it wasn't really, the learning experience was more on the business side.
Okay. That's why we're here.
As an artist, the experience was cool because it was like you're on international television, you know, everywhere around the world, and it's like, if your business wasn't right, like my business wasn't right back then, like, so there's a lot of opportunities that I missed out on.
Right.
You know, we just out there having fun, we was out there living, you know, they made a phone call, I accepted, I went out there and did my thing twice. So it was like, if the business was correct, you know, I'd probably be sitting in a different seat right now.
That's it.
But as far as the music with the internet, I just think it's dope because now you don't have to fly to China to reach out to somebody in China or to build a relationship.
Right.
You know, it makes it easier. I mean, it's a lot of garbage that gets through, but who are we to say it's garbage? Just because it may not be what we listen to. You know, it's a lot of artists on the radio right now that I just don't listen to.
Absolutely.
And I would consider not as talented as someone like even in our city, you know, we have people like Mike Mass, who's I think is an exceptional MC.
Absolutely.
You know, and he's not on the radio like a young Uzi Vert or whatever, however you say his name is. But it's you know, who am I to say that one man's trash and one man's better?
Right.
Their grind and their business may be a little bit better than Mike's.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so I think with the Tampa market and surrounding areas is like the business needs to be set up a little bit better.
Absolutely.
To level the playing field, because I mean you can't just say artistry. You can't just say this person's good, so he deserves to be there.
Right.
Like you don't see the work that man put in.
Exactly.
Sometimes when you less on one end, you got to be more on the other end. So if your business is excellent, you may not have to be the dopest artist,
Right.
because they're gonna walk you through that door,
Right.
and they're gonna say, hey, I can sell to these amount of people. So you have to balance your grind out and know where your weaknesses are, or trust people to actually put you in that position.
I know you're doing the management thing now.
Y'all just started the management company.
You know,
Yeah.
so that's congratulations on that.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
That's big because we need people who actually have done it and had those experiences that you said, hey, if I had a different opportunity now, I would know how to fully capitalize on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now
I mean,
you're in a position.
And I'm still learning. You know, I've learned a lot through trial and error. You know, we had a couple friends in our circle who manage big artists, platinum selling artists, and
Right.
things of that nature.
Right.
So even as an artist, I was learning what they're doing and what they're not doing, and the things that they see in the game as something that you should never do versus things that we think is acceptable in a market where having management companies is not really that big out here.
Yeah.
You know, there's managers, but there's no real managing.
And I think it starts to come down to like investment and trust. People, and I'm saying this on camera because I felt this, I know you felt this as well. People feel as if they should be in a place based upon how hot their music is in their mind. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what makes you think that just because you're excited about what you're doing, that the whole world is gonna stop their life and go buy that CD or buy that MP3 player? It doesn't work that way. It does not work that way, and people are quick to down the man who isn't on top yet. You know what I'm saying? Like yourself right now. As far as I'm concerned, you know, there's a lot of degrees up to 212. That's where you got to get where you, hey, we boiled. You know what I'm saying? If I had to rate, if you ain't at 200, you damn close. You follow what I'm saying? You damn close. So I appreciate you coming out here, and I want artists to see businessmen, businesswomen like what we doing kind of coming together. And I'm not gonna be like, this is the last time I see you because you come on the show. I want the city to get together and let's do something bigger. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, honestly, when I think of unity, even in other cities, it's never really unity with everybody because everybody wants to have their own circles. I believe the unity must come with the leaders and the captains and the people are actually moving in the same direction. You know, some people may choose to be heroes, some may choose to be villains. You know, when you unite, you gotta unite with people who are cut from the same club on the same frequency, you know? Because a lot of times, you know, it's a guy who has nothing to offer, but he feel like you deserve, you gotta give him that shot.
Right.
In retrospect, I mean, I could choose to give you the shot, or I could choose not to. But if you choose not to, then you're the bad guy. You feel me?
Yeah.
So if you choose to take that chance on that kid, then you know now you're the hero. And it's you know, and it's like I mean, it's up to you. It's really up to you because you haven't put your work in.
Right.
So when you young and you come in the game thinking somebody owes you something, or you deserve this, or you deserve that just because you grinding and you bust your ass, that's well and fine, but that's what you gotta do. That's the minimum right there. That's the mandatory minimum.
Yeah.
And I feel like, you know, here it's like when people see business rolling, you know, and you can't have business without the exchange of some type of financials.
Goods and services.
Yeah.
You know.
But I'm just saying, like, you know, a lot of times, even in the promotion game, these club owners ain't letting you walk into their door for free.
No.
You have 5 bad nights in a row, you're not gonna have a venue, my man. You get what I'm saying? Like and people don't see that, so they go to these shows because such and such down the street, they let them get it, they let them get in for free, or they let them perform for free. That's their choice.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, when your rent ain't paid and you sleeping on a couch,
Right.
and I don't know how many of y'all been here or been through that, but you know, if you've been through that, in your mind, you should think, man, I ain't going back there.
Exactly.
So you set your business up to keep it business.
Right.
You know what I mean? That friend stuff, you know, maybe y'all can change out with marketing and, you know, like they do with the bigger companies. But as far as when it comes to this city, when it comes to artists putting in time and money and effort within themselves, behind themselves, it's very important. It is as important as somebody like Apple saying, all right, I'm gonna budget this is the budget, this is what we're gonna spend on marketing,
Right.
you know, so we can attract somebody like a Drake, and we can give Drake this check and not hurt, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because we know we make it,
Yeah.
so we can give Drake this check to promote our thing, so we can sell even more.
Absolutely.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when the local artists start thinking in that, you know what I mean, fashion,
Right.
and start thinking business-wise, you know, I think the music, because I mean, I don't think we lack in this area with music.
Yeah.
We don't. We have a lot of talented artists.
If you had a message to artists in the Bay Area specifically, what would it be to kind of help, you know, I have a saying where it's like a raising sea brings all ships up. You feel what I'm saying? Like, if you hot, I'm hot, we get together, we form a Voltron. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what would be the message to kind of like raise everybody's level up? You know what I'm saying? It's level up time. You know what I mean?
I mean, if I would tell them to get their business together. And I mean, it's all about the business. It's all about the business. It's the music business. So I mean, it's not about being hot, because you ain't hot if you struggling to check the check, you're not hot.
Right. Let me ask you
I don't
a
care
question.
what kind of music you make.
How many people do you pay to help run your business? And I want to get that on camera.
It all depends what kind of event I'm throwing.
Right.
It all depends. It varies. It varies. But I have a team. I have a staff that I pay
Right.
every time. I'm never doing everything.
Yeah.
At one point in time, I probably was. But you know, you have to make money in order to pay people. You know.
The knowledge you bring to the table is basically a mindset, and I think if you're trying to create something,
Right.
you got to run with visionaries. What is your end goal? I'm telling you right now, being on this, that's not my end goal. Like, I know that's not your end goal just to hear your music on the radio because you went to the management. Right. There's bigger things you want to do. A lot of people, when they get to that next level, they're okay, but they're not gonna say it like everybody else. Like, what you gonna do next? They have no idea, and that's what happens where the money and the business get messed up because they have no idea.
The crazy thing is, they don't even understand what the next level is. I'm serious. Like, sometimes you on the next level, you don't even know you're on the next level. I mean, it's certain.
Give me an example of that.
I mean, okay, my first paid show, I didn't feel like I was on the next level. The first 3 years I made money off of the music industry after I quit all of my jobs, and that was my full-time job. That was my everything. I didn't feel like I was on the next level. I felt like I had to hustle harder now because I don't have the security with the job. So, you know, I'm 10 years in now without, you know what I'm saying, work for anybody else. And I don't feel like I'm on the next level until I look back and I say, damn, you know what? I remember times when, you know, I didn't have that, or I couldn't afford that.
Right.
You know, I remember times when I couldn't do this or do that, and I look back and I say, you know, damn, I don't know how many levels I done went up, but I mean, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? And it's not, you don't really realize it and hear it because, you know, you don't look down at everybody. You look and see, like, all right, can they help me or can they hurt me? You know, it's some people I choose to work with and some people I choose not to work with, not because I look down on them or I dislike them.
Yeah.
It's like, will this help or hurt my company?
Right.
And the things that I want to do, you know, I'm real strategic. So I got to be strategic with the pieces that I place together. So this person I may not work with for 5 years, and on the 7th year I may say, yo, let's put something together.
Right.
It's a lot of artists that I really enjoy that. Like, I knew Mike for years. We got on the track a couple years ago, but we been friends for way longer than that.
Right.
You know, so it's all about just being strategic about your moves and who you align yourself with. Absolutely. Because, you know, sometimes when you're two fresh companies, you don't really want to work together then, you know. You want to wait till y'all both established in the brand. You know, we can help each other then. We can move a certain way then, you know what I mean? Yeah. So for me, that's the example I want to say of being at another level. Like, a year from now, you'll probably be in a room twice the size of the audience. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I mean, it's like you don't look at it as being at another level, but you're clearly on another level when you look at your surrounding people.
Yeah. Look from behind and say, hey, you know, I was staying at this place, now I'm staying at the Western. We got to cut. You know what I'm saying? But I definitely appreciate having you. I know you got a prior engagement as well. I want to be timely with that. It's been an honor to have you on, on the same level, and this is just the beginning. You know what I'm saying? There's bigger things out there for the city. You definitely are a trendsetter and a go-getter. Tell the people what you got coming up, and then we're gonna cut it because I want them to know what you got going on as well.
We got a lot of things coming up. We just got a lot of things coming up.
Just Google him. Just Google him. That's it. Hey,
I stay busy, man. My artists stay busy.
Yeah.
The management company, we about to sign a couple people. Me as an artist, couple shows. Me as a promoter, we got the anniversary coming up in June, 11-year anniversary for the Cypher. We got King of Stage coming up, King of Stage 9. That's gonna be huge. I just keep myself busy, man. If you don't, you'll be bored around here doing dumb stuff and wasting time instead of making money.
Absolutely.
So that's where we at, man.
All right, man. That's what's up, man. Hey, appreciate you coming through.
No problem.
Everybody out there, you know what I'm saying? This is what's real hip hop. Business, go-getters, and trendsetters.